I have on my Gap shirt this week. I love the Gap. The Gap has great jeans and great stuff. They are also the owners of Old Navy, which I'm pretty crazy about too. Although I'm a jeans and t-shirt kind of girl. But you know what? I'm busted. I'm busted in the brain, meaning I don't think right. And you don't think right either. It's part of being human. There's a gap. There's a gap in the way our thinking and reasoning works compared to spiritual things, compared to the way God has intended. That's because of sin. And when sin came into the world, we all grew this huge gap between us and God. And we just don't get it. We don't get how things work. And it's our responsibility to be the kind of people who learn to allow God to fill that gap. He wants to. He's willing to. He was tortured to death to make it so you don't have to live with that gap. And I tell you that because I spent all my life trying to fill that spot. And it's a terrible way to live because there is no fulfillment in that apart from God. God has a plan for your life. And it's so much more spectacular than you think. I didn't know that this is what I was created to do. I would have never believed that I was a speaker or a writer or, I didn't want anything to do with church or being in that kind of position. And I still am kind of standoffish when it comes to church. Because really, when you think about the Bible being our example, Jesus didn't hang around with any church people. He hung around with prostitutes, tax collectors, his 12, which were his people that he could count on, people that the world didn't want anything to do with. And I'll tell you what, those are the people I love. They are. I do what I do because I have been one of those people for so long that I now want to make clear to those people that they don't have to stay in that busted, broken state where their barometer for life is just whacked. Because I didn't see anything the way that it needed to be seen. I didn't get it. I didn't have fulfillment. I didn't have purpose. I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing or why I was supposed to be doing it, and now I do. And listen, just because you're not called to speak in prisons or you're not going to be in the public eye or you're not a writer or you're not something that people think as a big deal, because believe me, this is not a big deal. I make these videos every week and I rarely get a like. I get 2-3 comments. I've been doing this for 6 years. And I still barely get recognition for any of it, but that's not why I do it. I do it because it's what God called me to, and it fills the gap. It makes me feel useful, even if it doesn't seem like anyone's listening. I've learned to be a good speaker, a good writer, a good talker by doing these videos, by watching myself and saying, I don't want to look like that. I don't want to make that face. I keep saying this. I keep saying that. I've watched myself and learned how to do things differently. So everything that God walks you through is happening for the purpose of teaching you something you need to know, for helping you get to a place where you don't have that emptiness, where you don't have that lack of worth. You were created for a purpose. And if you're feeling busted up and broken, it's because you have not listened to the voice of truth that is telling you what you were created for. Learn to do that. Learn to be still and to be quiet so that you can get it. You can get what you're here for. Because when you do that, no matter how insignificant it seems to other people, maybe you run the laundromat. Maybe you're a teller at the bank. I mean, whatever it is, when you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, it fills a void that nothing else can. Stop living with that gap. Love you guys. It's important that we have a reason to wake up every day. It's amazing. I've experienced it, and so can you. Take your feelings to him. He's good. You can do it. It'll make a difference.